Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Our students in Qatar Technical School, you are most welcome to Technical English 2. Our lesson today is Emergency 2. This is part 2. We want to study in course book page 45 and in the workbook page 29. The objectives of our lesson. Number one, to use must and should. These are models, as you know. Models. Must and should correctly and write sentences for diving safety manual. Number two, to write an email giving recommendations to the staff. Now, please, in the language box in page 45, we want to study must and should. Must and should are models or modal verbs. Must is used to show that an action is necessary or mandatory, obligatory. For example, safety helmets must be worn at all times. Here we use must as a model, then be as a helping verb, then worn, which is the past participle or verb 3 of the verb wear. Must be worn. This thing here is necessary. Now, should is used to show that you are recommending or suggesting an action. So, should is less obligatory than must. I mean, must, the thing should be done or must be done. It's necessary to be done. But must or should is a kind of suggesting or recommending something. So it's not mandatory. Okay, ليس إجباريا. It's a suggestion or a recommendation. Look at the example here. People think safety helmets should be orange. In my opinion, they should be yellow. Here, should be yellow. This is a recommendation or a suggestion. So, we use should. Should be yellow. This is not mandatory. This is only my opinion, my recommendation, or my suggestion. Okay, now, we can use should with the passive form. Should, passive, plus passive is used in the recommendations section of a report. Example, new first aid equipment should be purchased. Look here, should be purchased. Here, this is a recommendation. Now, maybe the manager of the company is recommending something. He recommends that new first aid equipment should be purchased immediately. Here we use should and be and purchased, which is past participle of the verb purchase, which means bought. Purchase means buy. Purchased means bought. Yeah, to be bought, to be bought. Yeah, immediately. Here is a recommendation. Here we have more examples. I must go and get the kids from school. We use must here. This is necessary to be done. He should have been more careful. Should have been more careful. And here, new roads should be built in this area. And here, we use the passive form. Should be built. This is the passive form. So, as we said here, should plus passive is used for recommendation. So here, this is a recommendation. توصية. Okay, now here is the rule. For passive form, we use the modal, must or should, followed by be, then the past participle or the verb 3, the third form of the verb. Example, these cars should be replaced. Here is a passive form and we have just said that this form is used for recommendation, should be replaced. Passive form. The passive means the modal. Be is obligatory, should be used. Be and replaced, which is the verb 3 or the past participle of the verb. Okay, now please let's move on to exercise number 5 on page 45. Read this email. Which section gives all the information? What John already knows. And new information, what John needs to know, and the action that he needs to do. Now, let's read the email first. Please think about these 3 points: old, new, and action. Email from Rescue Center Manager to RC Rescue Operations Coordinator. The subject is the morning's rescue operation. Hi, John. You will remember that we talked about the trapped diver Mike on the phone this morning. The rescue leader has just told me that Mike is now going to the hospital by helicopter. I'm holding a meeting next week to discuss our rescue procedures. Could you please send me your recommendations for improving them? Regards, Don. Okay, so here, can you tell me who is the sender of this email, please? Who is the sender? Who wrote this email? Who is the writer? John or Don? Yes, here the writer of the email, the one who sent the email, is Don. And please, who is the recipient? Yes, the recipient here is John. Okay, what is the email about? Yes, it's about the morning's rescue operations. Okay, now can you take 3 minutes, please, talking about or thinking about the old information that they both know or already John knows already, and the new information which he needs to know, and the action. Please take 3 minutes thinking about these 3 points. Okay, thank you for trying to answer. I hope you got the correct answers. Now, the old information is that they talked about the trapped diver Mike. Okay, the new information is that Mike is going to the hospital. This is new information for John. Now, what is the action that he needs to take or to do? Yes, it is to send recommendations for improving the procedures. Thank you. Okay, guys, please now go to the writing section, exercise number 6. Write an email giving John's reply. You want to write a reply as if you are or you were John. You need to write or to give old information, new information, and action. And you need to include 6 recommendations in the new information. Choose 6 items from the table in exercise number 3 that we studied in the previous lesson, or give some of your own ideas for recommendations. Please take your time. You need maybe 20 minutes to write this email. Please try to write it yourself before seeing here the email which I am giving to you after a while. Please take your time you can pause the video and write your own email before looking at the email which is in this video. Okay, guys, thank you so much for trying and writing the email. Here is an example of the email. Please pause the video and read it carefully. And here, as you see, I have written 6 recommendations, and I put new information, or I mean old information, new information, and the action. I will read only the introduction. Hi, Don. Thank you for your email. As you know, we decided that we need to improve our rescue procedures so that we can easily deal with such accidents in the future. Now, this is old information. This is old information. Yeah, we decided that. We decided that. Because they both decided, so this is what we call old information. Okay? My secretary has just told me that Dr. Campbell is attending the meeting to give some advice. Here is the new information. Has just told me that Dr. Campbell is attending. Here is new information. Okay. By the way, these are my recommendations, and here are the things or the action. Okay. Here, as you know, or as you see, we have 6 recommendations. Please read them carefully. Now, please open your workbook, page 29. Okay, in this exercise, write sentences for a diving safety manual. Manual is a book using must or should. You have examples. 1. If a diver's position is not known, it's necessary to locate them immediately. Now look at the answer. If a diver's position is not known, look that here the first part of the sentence is the same. We haven't changed anything, the same as before. Now here we change after the comma. Before we said it's necessary to locate them. Now here we want to use the passive. So we start with the object, as you know. They, then becomes they. Now, must be means it's necessary. So I don't write it's necessary. I want to use modals. They must be, and the verb locate, it becomes in the past participle, located immediately. So they must be located immediately. Okay. Now look at the second example. If a diver is trapped underwater, this is the same. It will be the same, huh? If a diver is trapped underwater, we recommend freeing them with a knife. Now, this part, we need to change it into passive. Okay? So we start with the object. Where is the object here? The object here is them. So we start with them, but it becomes they. They, and for recommendation, we said that we use should. In the first sentence, for necessary things, we use must. But for recommendation, here, for recommendation, we use should. So they should be, and freeing, the verb is free, and the past participle of a free is freed. So they should be freed with a knife. Now, I will give you number 3 as an example as well. If a diver's oxygen is low, we recommend, now here recommend, for recommendation, we use must or should? Yes, for recommendation, we use should. Providing an extra air cylinder. Here, the verb, the main verb is providing. The main verb in this sentence is providing. So we have to use the past participle of a provide. And here we don't need to use recommend because we want to use should instead of recommend, right? So we start with the object. The object is an extra air cylinder. This is the object. Okay. So if the diver's oxygen is low, an extra air cylinder, the object, should be provided. I use should because it's a recommendation, and we need to add be after the modal verb so that we can use the past participle of the verb. Now, can you answer number 4? If a casualty is not buoyant, we recommend inflating their wetsuit. The same thing here, we have recommend. So we use must or should? Yes, we use should. And where is the object here? Where is the verb, the main verb? The main verb is inflating, and the base form is inflate. The verb 3 is inflated. Good. And the object here is their wetsuit. The wetsuit is the object. Okay, so the answer is, please can you answer it before seeing the answer here in the video? Yes, this is the answer. Their wetsuit, this is the part that we have changed. Their wetsuit here should be, as a recommendation, and inflated. Good. Now, please, I am showing the answers for 5, 6, and 7. Please write these answers in your workbook, and please study this exercise as much as you can, because it's really important. But I wanted to just to point out some points here. Necessary here, we use must be, and carry out becomes carried out. And don't forget to start with the object, artificial respiration. Artificial respiration is the object. Here, it's necessary, so we use must be. The verb is rescue. Sorry, the verb, it's necessary to phone. Phone means to phone or to make a call, to call somebody. So phone is the verb, and the rescue services here, this is the object. We start with the object. The rescue services must be, and the verb is phone. It becomes phoned in the past participle. For today, thank you for watching, and don't forget to answer the assignment in the Teams and submit it within 24 hours. Assalamu alaikum.